to your article.
Okay, so we are going to chat a little bit about the Pierce County Library data breach and its impact. So, when we think about data breaches, we think about banks or hospitals, maybe big tech, Target, maybe Equifax. Nobody is really thinking about the public library. So, today we're going to talk about how the Pierce County Library System exposed the personal data of over 340,000 people. So, between April 15th and April 21st of this year, hackers were able to gain access to the library's internal network, not just a website, not a login page glitch, their actual systems. And they didn't look around, they actually stole data, and the library didn't immediately know. So, that kind of tells you a lot right there. Because when attackers are inside your network for days, that is obviously not accidental. They have some access. So, who got hit? Regular people, folks who were checking out books using computers, essentially minding their business. The data that was exposed were their names and date of births. And I know somebody might be listening like, that's not that bad, but name and date of birth is the starter pack for identity theft. So that is how phishing emails can start to sound to be believable because they have your name, how scammers can confirm it's really you, how accounts are able to get reset. So those small pieces of data do add up over time. Now, employees and their family members were also hit, and that's kind of where it gets wild. So, social security numbers, driver license numbers, passport numbers, financial and credit card info, health insurance and medical information, life altering data. You can change a password, but you cannot change your social. So, some of the people affected didn't even work there. They were just family members of people who worked there. So, like some collateral damage. Now, the part that people don't like to hear is that libraries are actually prime targets. They're publicly funded. They are often under resourced. They're running on older systems and they have way more data than a lot of people realize. So, outside of just the books, they have databases, employee HR systems, payment systems, any integrations with vendors, maybe health benefit records. And bad actors love places that feel safe because nobody's really paying attention. Now, this important piece of detail is that no ransomware group claimed it. So that really makes it seem that it might not have been about, loud extortion, maybe more quiet data theft, maybe harvesting some more information because nobody really made a ton of noise saying, hey, we benefited from this. So the response is that the library is offering 12 months of free credit monitoring. That's standard. That's typical. We talked about this a million times. It should be more than that, but it is what it is. So credit monitoring will alert you after the damage is done. It doesn't stop any identity theft. It doesn't stop your social security number from being misused. It doesn't protect your passport. And it doesn't undo any long-term damage. It's really more like a Band-Aid to the situation. So the bigger lesson that I really want everyone to understand is that if a public library can lose control of your data, then any organization that you trust should be questioned. Trust does not equal security. Visibility does not equal protection. And being small or community-based does not mean that it is just inherently safe. Every organization is a tech company now. Every organization is a holder of data, and every organization is potentially a target. So if you have been affected by this, make sure you are freezing your credit, changing your passwords, have MFA on, monitor your credit accounts, and make sure that you're not oversharing your data with organizations that don't need it. So, yeah, that was a hot one. I thought it was interesting because it was a library, and I think people really do sleep on how beneficial libraries are in just the vast amount of data that they have.
Yeah. And while you said that, first of all, I would have never thought, like I said, to hit a library, right?
But it's an easy hit.
Yeah, because you think about it, some libraries been there for 60, 70 years?
Same tech.
That's a lot of data.
Yeah.
So I said, because I always tell people, they always think, oh, well, we're small, who would want to come at us? And so I just typed in, hey, like, what are the stats of like small companies getting hit by cyber attacks? And so I'm on strongdm.com, and it says 46% of all cyber breaches impact businesses with fewer than 1,000 employees. 61% of small businesses were the target of a cyber attack. Now, granted, This article was done in 2025. It's using some stats from 2021. So I am interested to see what it would look like for today's metrics. But I'm just going through these things. What it says. At 18%, malware is the most common type of cyber attack aimed at small businesses, and 82% of ransomware attacks in 2021 were against companies with fewer than 1,000 employees. Let's see.
And most libraries have less than 1,000 employees. Most.
Let me see. Just double checking. 87% of the small businesses have customer data that could be compromised in an attack. And yeah, but I think it goes back into, okay, I would assume that libraries will follow in the scope of the city. And so it goes to the city and see, okay,
It typically will.
your networks
like the
and
state and local government.
how are all these libraries talking to each other, and like, do they even do pen tests?
Probably not. They probably don't have the budget.
I think they do, but they underpay though. Like for sure, the city of Dallas underpays like for their roles for cyber. Like if you the GRC roles, like they should just be letting people like y'all don't even know what y'all doing. Y'all just giving them out. That's what y'all should be doing when it comes to that. I just be mad, bro. I just came to the library to read a book. Now somebody got my data.
That part. I came here to study or to do some research, and now my data is exposed. Yeah. That's why it's important that you have something to monitor your credit proactively, not reactively.
And that's why you can use Aura.
I wouldn't go say it, but you said it.
Listen, you can use Aura. Aura can do everything. It can monitor your credit. It can monitor your banking transactions.
It's the big homie.
VPN, password manager. And it's out there to make sure your data's not out there with data brokers and they can get it removed for you. So if that's what you're interested in, we got a link for Aura in the description.